that very few people, or a lot of people have never heard of or never seen. And so you could have, but I mean, so there was the shared experience of the pop culture is basically his point, and I think it was a great one. That so the Who Shot JR thing, to get back to that, I mean, that was part of that. I mean, it was a huge, huge deal. I mean, this was the first kind of season-ending cliffhanger in television history, and there were newspaper contests. There were, I was going back to do research for this book. I'm finding ads in the Chicago Tribune of, oh, here's this person, and here's why they could have done it, and here's maybe why they didn't do it, and tell us your guess. And the winner gets, I don't remember exactly what they were giving away, but I mean, it was this huge pop culture phenomenon that went on for 6 months. And it really did take the country by storm. It really was amazing. And it's just not something that I think could happen today, at least maybe certainly not for that length of time, because we'd all be on to the next thing,
Right. And yeah, I mean, there were only basically 3 channels, 3 networks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember as a kid, I mean, we had a couple TVs, but really that was what we did. We gathered around a TV. Well, as a family, we would watch the shows of the day: Three's Company, Dukes of Hazzard, MASH, Happy Days, and it's just not the same. And there were VCRs weren't really a thing then, so you had to watch it when it was on.
Yeah,
that was the other thing. It was like appointment viewing.
Yeah, I mean, VCRs were around, but they were crazy expensive. Like $1,000. Yeah. I mean, and even I was, doing some more research. You look back, and now VCRs are $1,000. Blank tapes were $15 a piece.
Wow.
So yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't get a VCR till much later in the day, but yeah, I mean, we just relatively recently passed the anniversary of the final episode of MASH, in 1982. I missed it because I went to a high school basketball game. It was probably 10 or 15 years before I actually saw that episode, because, I mean, again, it's not like you can just DVR it and watch it the next night. I mean, it was on and then it wasn't. And, that was it.
So you were the one that didn't watch it.
Well,
you were the only guy.
It was by choice, exactly. I was a PA announcer for our high school basketball team, so I went and did that. And, but it was, I mean, certainly I heard about it, and it was a big choice back then. I mean, that was a huge, huge deal. So, again, one of those things that people today will never, younger people wouldn't kind of grasp how big of a deal that was.
Still to this day, when they talk about the most viewed TV things ever, there's every Super Bowl, but then also in that list is the MASH finale.
Exactly. It was a huge deal.
All right, sir. Well, we could talk for hours. I'm telling you guys, you have to get this book. It is just a great chronicle of a season, and it wasn't that, it's 155 pages. It's not that long, but you pack so much in it, and like I said at the beginning, it's not just facts. It's you really makes you care about this thing. It makes it so interesting. So, and I need you to do one for each of the years in the 80s, at least of the 80s, because you did such a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I mean, just one last thing I'd like to say is just that was part of my goal. Is I didn't want this to be just a baseball book of here's who won these games. You can get that from Baseball Reference. And I tried not to get into play-by-play. I wanted to tell as many stories and behind-the-scenes stuff, and that was kind of what I went into it trying to do. And I modeled this book off of a couple other ones that I really liked. Dan Epstein's Stars and Strikes about the 1976 season, and then Jeff Katz wrote a book about 1981 called Split Season. And so those were my templates that I used. So. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to write, and like I said, I fell down a lot of rabbit holes of researching things, and there's a reason that I know that blank VHS tapes cost $15 back then, because I was like, oh wow, look at that! How I mean, you end up shiny objects in these newspapers, right? So
you lived it, yeah. All right, sir. The book is called Phinally: The Phillies, the Royals, and the 1980 baseball season that almost wasn't. From McFarland Books, Jay Daniel. Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back Wednesday with another episode.
Thanks again to Jay Daniel. And the book is called Phinally, the Phillies, the Royals in the 1980 baseball season that almost wasn't, from McFarland Publishing. And I'm telling you, go get this book. It is so good. I can't stress this enough. Get the book. Talk to you later. Another episode is in the bag.